C64 presents a Playguide and video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hey there, welcome to another Lemon 64 Play Guide and Review. This time we're checking out Live and Let Die, developed by Elite Systems under license from Denmark in 1988. On that title screen we can hear some great music and also programming by Dave Thomas, the same Dave Thomas who programmed Buggy Boy, and graphics by Bob Thomas, who also created the graphics for Buggy Boy, with music by Mark Cooksey. Live and Let Die is split into 4 different sections: the practice section, the North Pole, the desert, and finally New Orleans. So let's check out the practice course. And for this, well, we are 007 and we have to improve our steering and firing skills by using our cannon to shoot the red targets and also using our missiles to destroy the black targets. Can we get 100%? Well, let's press that fire button and let's find out. In Live and Let Die, we can use a speedboat to destroy targets and avoid others, and in this case you can see I'm manoeuvring pretty slowly in order to get everything, and you have to get everything to get 100%, I think. Maybe there are 1 or 2 targets extra, but back in the day I used to be able to get everything, and it's pretty darn difficult these days. And yes, you have to line everything up pixel perfect, and with the missiles it gives us unlimited missiles on this practice run, but you still have to avoid all those rocks as well. Luckily we get infinite lives as well, which is a good job because we're running out of those, or we would be if we were supposed to be playing this for real. And you can see that, well, there is no timer. It basically runs out when we get through all those targets, and then it will print out our results. And in this case, very poor indeed. Turning to that title screen, let's select another scenario and let's this time choose the polar region, and let's see if that's any easier. If you think that this game is pretty similar to Buggy Boy, that's because it is, but unlike Buggy Boy we get some mines and a tunnel, which is a little bit different, and unlike Buggy Boy we don't get a time limit either. What we get is fuel. You can see the fuel gauge ticking down on that readout at the bottom, and you can see I've just blown up some fuel. That will appear in red, which is small, and blue, which is large, and green, which is I think medium-sized canisters of fuel. So if you can collect those on the run, it means you should have infinite lives. But if we collide with anything whatsoever, or if we run out of fuel whatsoever, then we'll die, and it's not very forgiving because now we've run out of missiles, and it only allows us 3 missiles at the start of every game, and you'll have to pick those up as you go along. We'll also find random blast doors which we'll have to blast through, and if you're not prepared with those, then you'll definitely need to use your missiles, or sometimes you can use a log to jump over. But it's missiles at the ready, and it's prepared for this level at the ready. And when I used to be able to complete this back in the day, I used to have this memorized so that I knew where to get the extra fuel and how fast to go in order to get through it. Unfortunately, you can see even at this speed I'm having to stop because I've run out of fuel, and that's level over, and I think I was probably about a third of the way through it. Skipping on, let's check out the next scenario. That's the desert. Of course, everybody remembers the desert scene from the movie, as well as the North Polar run, and all this was done in a speedboat. And of course, you'll not get to see inflatable bosses, or buses decapitated, or even tarot cards being distributed by a woman with 2 different eye colours, or voodoo people attacking us from graves and forcing us to do things beyond the devil. And unfortunately, none of this is in the game. This is based on a 7-minute speedboat chase in the middle of it, and in this it features mines, which were not in a speedboat chase, and various gates and various other things, and you see fuel is handily collected as well. As long as you get that green fuel, you can continue, and I think I've just blown up a blue one as well. That is quite difficult, and you have to remember where all those fuel spots are, otherwise you'll definitely run out. And you have to know when to fire the missiles as well, preferably just before that ramp. And if you're going top speed, maybe you can make it, maybe not. Moving swiftly on, let's see the main attraction. This is New Orleans, and this was definitely in the movie, or at least the location. I have great respect for this game, and I have completed it every single scenario, even though I can't do it anymore because I can't memorise all these things and bear playing it all over again. But I think it's a fun game, and it still holds some amount of fun for me today, even though it's far too easy to run out of fuel. And it's those little things which spoil what could have been a great game. The fuel ticks down very rapidly, and sometimes you can't help fall into dead ends. At the end of each level, there is a target that you have to blow up with a missile, a huge base which blows up on the screen, and that's a great feeling, and masters of this game should be able to race through it all the way through at high speed. So Masters is a great game, but otherwise, other people that try to play this now, it can be a little bit frustrating, and these 3D elements aren't automatically easy to get through. And I can't believe I didn't use a missile on that particular obstacle. But yes, if you get good at this, then it's not a bad game. Well, I take it slow, let's get to the scores. Ace Magazine gave this 72%, Zap gave it 70%, the Games Machine gave it 64%, saying it's too slow and it lacks speed, and the current lemon score is 68%. Which means Ian Fleming's James Bond 007 in Live and Let Die, the computer game, to give it its full title, gets 6.5 out of 10. At the end of it all, you do get to enter your name on a high score table, and that gives you some idea of how well you did. And I think I got maybe through a third of all of those missions, and there's still plenty left to go. I think the ramps and jumps later on are hair-raising once you know what to do, and otherwise you'll get bored and get killed and probably switch the game off. Is also a great example of me loading it up just to hear the music, and of course the high score music is also brilliant. So thank you very much for viewing another Lemon 64 play guide and review. See you in the next one soon. Thank you.